and they enhanced the music, and they made you listen to it in a little bit of a new way. And I think they can do that with dignity and majesty for Rosh Hashanah.
Yes.
And I'm really looking forward to that. I know it's a bit of a leap, but everyone who heard them that night realized that this was a magical musical moment,
Yes.
and I think it will work on the high holidays.
Well,
I'll let you know.
You know what it is, though? It's not trying to jam a square peg into a round hole or vice versa. It's being totally inundated with the culture that we're in, or whatever culture that a person is in, and being totally inundated in the Jewish music, and then through the natural course of being alive, eventually you're able to make the synthesis, the fusion.
Yeah.
And then you come out with something which is really aligned and is powerful.
I mean, I think if you have integrity and you care about the text and you care about where you are and you're aware of the situation, you're aware that it is a worship service, you don't have to get carried away and turn it into a late night session. It's
Right.
still a worship service.
That's right.
But within worship, it can be very powerful to have different strains of music. We have an oboe player come almost every Friday night. My dear friend Randy Wasserman loves to add the oboe. And every time I hear it, I think, wow, what a gift. It's Peter and the Wolf on Friday night, but it's so beautiful. Doo, 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 doo. And she adds something unusual.
Yes, yes.
And you would think, well, maybe that doesn't work, but it does work because she weaves around the notes that we're already accustomed to and just elevates it. And like you said, chidur mitzvah, elevate the mitzvah,
Yes.
make it more beautiful, make it more majestic.
Yes.
And it can be.
Yes.
It can be that way. And I'm lucky because of my rabbi, John Haddon, loves music and encourages a kind of creative worship. So every month, on the third Friday of the month, we have a music Shabbat. Sometimes we bring in guest artists. Sometimes I just will do a different kind of theme. But, between the choir and the oboe and the guitar and the piano, we have an incredible synthesis just naturally. Even before we bring in a gospel choir,
Right.
which we've done,
Yeah.
or another chorale, or a string quartet, which we've done 3 times, which is something very magical.
Sure.
Boy, what could be more majestic than a string quartet? Or this wonderful Israeli trio. So I look forward to finding more ways to have synthesis and to have something beautiful, dignified, and majestic, and uplifting, so that when people walk away from a service, they feel changed, and they feel lighter, and they feel like they can breathe a little easier.
But that's what's supposed to happen in a service.
It's supposed to happen. It's what we try to do.
That's beautiful. And a lot of people grew up in shuls without any musical instruments. And I think I've written in my newsletter about this because I'm in favor of instruments. I think people forget that in the Beit HaMikdash on Shabbat, there were instruments in the temple in the days of Solomon and Second Temple period. Right. And that the only reason why we stopped playing these instruments was because of a mourning for the destruction of the temple. And I think some people feel that since we do have a significant state of Israel, sovereignty in Israel, that is every bit as significant as the first 2 civilizations of our people that lived there in the First and Second Temple period. Because we are there again, maybe it is time to relax a little bit the mourning.
Yeah, it's a lot of mourning.
Yeah.
It's a lot of mourning, and I think there's a time to mourn, and there's a time to rejoice, and we need more rejoicing. We really do.
Yeah.
Life is precious. This is all we have, and I think it is important to study the past and to be aware and sensitive. But we have to give our children a sense of joy, and we have to give people a reason to come to synagogue to be uplifted, and not just to be. We don't want to push people down. We want to raise them up.
The achenvei, always the achenvei. Oy, 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 oy.
Oy vey.
Right. It has to be more than the oy vey.
Right. There's got to be more than the oy to life.
Yeah.
The joy. The joys and the oys.
A little more joy than oys.
More joy than oy. Absolutely.
That's great.
Yeah.
It's so great having you here in the studio, and
It's wonderful.
the
Thank
door is
you.
open, as your mentor said.
Oh, thank you.
Come back anytime when you make a new CD. Come back and tell us about it, and sing for us as well.
Oh, thank you. Well, maybe I'll come back and tell you about the Ireland trip,
Oh, please do.
because that's going to be pretty amazing.
Please do. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so much.
Shalom ubracha to you.
Lihitraot.
Lihitraot is right.
Wenn ich wolke bin a Feigele, in ich wolke hat Fliegelech, wollt ich gekommen zu fliehen zu dir. Aber ich bin keine Feigele, und ich hab kein Fliegelech, bleib ich du bei mir. Bis Chuli Share Tzedek, oh boy, oh my day, bis Chuli Share Tzedek, oh boy, oh my day, la la di la bis Chuli Share Tzedek, oh my day, Adonai,